Hello, team. It is Tuesday, October 23rd. There is one day left in week 4 of October, and then we still have a week 5, which is, of course, fabulous. A whole extra week that we got to earn our Rich Reward ensembles and our Rich Rewards credit, a whole extra week to earn your monthly or weekly bonuses. And the company was kind enough to throw us all double points for the trip for these last 2 weeks. And double points add up freakishly fast. It seems like, no, even though it's double, it seems like more. And I don't know why that is, but it just is. So once again, I'm going to say, if you feel like you are far away from earning the trip, and you don't take advantage of these 2 double points weeks, should they announce that the trip is going to be continued into any of November, whether it's 2 weeks, the whole month, you are going to be kicking yourself if you know that if you tried harder, you could have got double points these 2 weeks and then have been on track to earn should they extend into any portion of November. So please don't put yourself in that situation. Always put yourself in a position to be able to advance, to be able to win, and, start those recruits, do those extra events. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about today, which was using this time of year to really build your business. Because this is the time of year that we wait for all year round, right? It's the upcoming holiday shopping season. Fall is very a get-together-y time. There's not all of the summer conflicts that people have. Sundays become super popular time to have a show for those that like to do a brunch after church or something like that. And if you're not in the habit of offering that time slot, I would really suggest that you start. Even if it's not your favorite time to work, you don't have to do it all year round. I don't do Sunday brunches in July and August because that's just not a time that I want to be working. But in the winter like that, you're definitely missing an opportunity in the fall and winter to make some good money by doing shows on weekends, especially in the afternoon. As the weather gets worse, and as it gets dark earlier, that's another reason why people love the daytime shows, because now they don't have to go out at night. There's not going to be ice on the ground. I know geographically some of this doesn't apply to you. There's not a whole lot of ice on the ground in Houston and whatnot. But for those of us that live in those colder areas, even just a rainy, cold rain, people will rather do that by day than at night. So keep those day slots open. This is also the time of year that there are a million little opportunities to get out in front of the public, right? Every church and organization and temple, they all have these like fall craft fairs and holiday shopping fairs. And those are things that you want to start putting on the calendar now. Even if you book it and then you have the opportunity to book a show, well, then give the event to somebody else in the area, whether it's a team member, whether it's you refer it back to your upline to give out to the team, because a show is always better, right? The first choice to show the jewelry is to be in front of people at a regular, normal party. But if you have the opportunity to book a craft fair or a church's shopping day or something like that, by all means, book it. And if somebody else wants a party that day, book the party, give the event away. Either way, you are guaranteed to work that day. Lots of different, that was something like Phyllis last weekend. She said, my show canceled, I'm finding something to do, right? I'm going to find a fair. I'm going to find a way to be in front of people with the jewelry. I have this nail salon that I work with that they like to do private parties. They do like private parties for people. So if someone wants to do a birthday or a bachelorette or something like that, and they always call me when they're having them, and they say, why don't you come with the jewelry? Because it's, you know, because I always post on Facebook that I'm there, and people will often comment, oh, I've been wanting to try that place. How is it? Whatever, because it's a pretty new place. And it's a nail salon that has a bar in it. That's why they call it the nail bar, or, you know, polish nail bar. So it's like polish off your drink, polish your nails, like play on words. Even though I feel like it looks like the word Polish. It looks like Polish nail salon to me. But anyway, it wasn't my call to name the place. Anyway, they called me to come in this past Saturday, and she said, we have like 12 girls coming. So, or 15 or something like that. So I sold a few items off the table right off the bat, and then literally played on my phone for the next maybe 90 minutes, right? I was like, oh my gosh, this is torture, because I'm not going to lie to you. It's not my favorite thing to do. To do those events are not my favorite thing. I'm not as good as talking to people as many of you are, but I just, you know, but I was hanging in there. Then it was like, okay, clearly, you know, I think we're finished here, right? So I just did a quick sweep of the room. There was one girl that was considering adding me to her girls' night. She's already having November 3rd, so I made sure I got her phone number. And we texted each other just so we had each other in our phones. I said, all right, girls, I'm going to be heading out in about 10 minutes if anybody wants to shop. So a couple minutes goes by. I start mobilizing to put things away, and here come a whole, like 2 or 3 girls over to the table. So now, of course, I stop putting things away and chit-chat. The one girl puts a ring up on the ledge and says, I'll take that. And anytime somebody was shopping with me, I would say, you know, hey, just so you know, I do like home shows and stuff where you would get tons of free and discounted jewelry for getting a couple girls together. Then we have wine, you get to try on. It's a whole different experience. And they were like, oh, you want to have a party? And just like that, they said, yeah, we will have a party. Can we do it together? I said, sure you can. So they said, I think the one girl says, I'm kind of busy. Why don't we do either late December, or she said something like December or January. I said, well, both months are great. I will tell you that if you take December, then you get the benefit of everyone's holiday shopping, and you'll probably have, you know, you'll have great sales. But in January, you'll get the benefit of no one has any other plans. They just may not need as much jewelry as they will in December. So whatever you want to do. Because honestly, I'm happy with a booking in either of those months, though I would always rather have it sooner than later. So they were like, all right, you're right. Let's do December. They booked December 1st. And then the girl picks up the Skylar necklace off the table and goes, oh, yeah, and I want this. Yep, she did. Didn't ask the price. Didn't bat an eye. Rang her up. And I mean, I did it for half price. But even so, like, I charged her $100 for this that she didn't even bat an eye. She handed me the heaviest American Express card. I don't know if there's 10 chips in it or what. But ran the card. I sent them today their save the date and their, you know, Facebook info, and they're like, oh my God, we're so excited. We're gonna serve wine and appetizers. Is that right? Da, da, da. Now, if I had just said, I'm packing up, I'm done, or left a half an hour before, I would have had $150 in fewer sales, and I would not have 2 amazing hostesses in the neighborhood right next to mine on December 1st. So this is what I mean about, even if it feels like, I don't know how many people I'll meet. It costs me nothing to go but my time. And I was supposed to do a show in the day and the night, and there was a death in the family. And it's sad actually, because it was the mom of this whole group that I have been doing. And she's been on hospice for a long time, and I knew that it was a possibility, and she did pass. So I didn't have a show at night that I was supposed to have, and I was like, nope. My time is, you know, I want to be at that event. While I'm there, she says, hey, I'm having a large group here Friday morning at 10. You want to come Friday morning at 10? I said, yes, I do. Now, meanwhile, who has 18 friends available at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday? Somebody that needs to have a Park Lane jewelry party the following Tuesday morning. So you know that I am going to be working hard to book these girls into some weekday drop-in shops, which is my ultimate favorite show, and haven't had one in a while, because you have to get in with that group. They're either stay-at-home moms, or they're nurses that work the 312s and they're off the other days, or you need your retirees. I know Phyllis does get them because she has all those retiree ladies that she likes to work with, which is fabulous. So keep your mind open to all of these events is what I'm saying, because believe me that I am the first one to kind of always want to be like, oh my God, enough is enough. I want to leave. I'm tired of standing here. But something inside me knows to hang in because there could be somebody to meet. And man, did that work out beautiful. And now I'm really looking forward to working with those girls. They were like young, pretty girls that I don't know what they do for a living or anything yet, but it's going to be a good show. So these are the types of things that I mean by building your business, because in the dead of January, it's harder to find a craft fair than it is in October, November, and December. So there should never be a weekend that you don't do anything with your business, because if you don't have a show, you can find a craft fair somewhere. Even if it's a little further from your home than usual, go build a new area. If there's nobody there, that probably means that they don't have a rep in that area. And you can go and you can drive extra far a couple times until you find a great recruit. And, get a whole new area built up. I wanted to share with you guys too. So Joy had shared with us on last week's Lunch and Learn the dice game, right? Did everybody, a lot of you were on that live. I know a bunch more of you watched it on the playback. Did anyone try it yet?
Not yet.
Okay, because I tried it and it was awesome. And I wanted to share with you that is the one game in direct sales that I have resisted for probably 10 years. I've known about this game, and I just never was brave enough to try it. But I also never really saw it demonstrated or had it explained to me as clearly as Joy did. So once I saw how it went, and then we talked about that last week, they just chucked the dice right on the ground, okay? And how fun it was and stuff. Now, what I did I read the instructions as well, and it said that when you start the game, somebody needs to already have them in their hands. So, because it just makes it easier to be like, okay, would you like to roll? And she's already, sitting there with them. So I said, how can I have them with the dice in their hand already? I decided to still do my real brief Q&A, the letters in the Q&A, but instead of giving them a ticket, they passed the dice. So whoever was still holding the dice on the final question was just the person that would have gotten to roll first. So it felt a little weird, but actually they thought it was great. They were passing the dice because they didn't know what was going to happen. Now, here's what I did do, though. So for the grand prize, I put some extras, like I have an extra unicorn, an extra elixir, a bunch of extra pieces, some discontinued, brand new in the package, right? And then I go to set everything up. That bag was sitting here on my desk at home. So I went there with dice and envelopes and all kinds of stuff and no grand prize. So what I did was I made the grand prize be that they could pick anything they wanted off the table, which they were like, ooh! So I may actually just do that. It was kind of easier than carrying extras. And the girl took an Echo necklace, which was fine, I mean, it's not like back in the day when I had signatures on the table. I don't really bring the signatures anymore. So, it's whatever they take. Anything can be replaced for $25, right? So she took an Echo, and she's so excited. She already has her Facebook event going. She booked November 30th, and off she goes. And almost everybody rolled, including the hostess, including the past hostess, everybody. It was amazing. Amazing. Do follow the instructions on the sheet. You can't just make the envelopes however you feel like it, because there's a mathematical reason for putting the prizes as to what they are. Like the grand prize is 2, because there's only one way to roll a 2, and that's to roll 2 ones. Anything that there's a high probability of rolling, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that's all book a show. And then win a prize is in 3, 4, 5, and 12, which have a medium probability of being rolled. And I did have people win the prize, so they didn't think it was a scam or anything, because it's not. And I did tell them that they could have a grand prize. They could make themselves a grand prize winner right away before opening up their envelope, which I talked to Joy on the way to the show to just remind myself about that part. So I highly recommend it. When I tell you I resisted this game hard, I'm not kidding at all. And I've been wanting to try it. A leader from another team explained it to me recently. Still didn't get it. So Joy, congratulations for being the person to finally break Michelle Zito from the chains of not wanting to do the dice game. And I'm super excited to do it again this weekend. I have a different group I'm doing on Sunday that I've never met before. So I'm going to play with them. Yeah, I have a bunch of shows coming up. So
I am very happy you tried it. And I'm going to tell the team. Michelle was so excited. She's like, okay, I'm going to do it. She called me earlier. And the part that's funny to me is how much people want to grab those dice and want to roll them. I mean, Michelle, they were like, okay, I want to roll the dice. They didn't even know why they really wanted to roll them. They just wanted to do it. Just the fun of it.
Yeah, they were. Only one girl in the whole group said no. She's like, I know I won't book the show if I roll it, so it's not fair if I do. I said, okay then.
Yeah. So well, I'm glad I videotaped myself. Even though I hated the video, I'm glad I videotaped myself for you.
I am too, because yeah, it's a little hard to hear the video, but listen, you could understand what's happening. It served its purpose. It's fine. And it was really great that you did that. So I'm looking forward to putting that just so that you guys know. I know the leaders know this, but you guys, so that everybody knows. I've been working on a big project. I don't really love the way Park Lane 101 is now laid out on the field interface. They've reduced a lot of things that's on it. There's a lot of different spots to click. So me and Jennifer Bond and Mary Grace are working on making a list of things in order of what a new person should use to train themselves. So I'm gathering up all different kinds of awesome videos from the various leaders that volunteered. Some sections are completely ready, and some sections I'm just waiting on some videos. There's going to be instructional things, like a video that Teresa Morgan is going to be doing, just how to enter an order, how to complete the host order, how to do the booking claim. Like all these kinds of things are just basic instructional videos, how to do an RMA. That way, every time you have a new team member and they're like, how do I put in my order? Bam, you can just cut and paste that video again or refer them back to the main document. There's support sheets that go along with it. Joy's Lunch and Learn from last week, that video is going to be in there. So that she didn't have to, it worked out great that the video was so good, she didn't have to redo it. And then it'll just, continue to be edited and enhanced as time marches on. So we're in the works. I'm hoping that that's done by the end of this week. I'm just waiting on a few more videos from people. And then also, at some point I'll just post it with what we have and we'll just continue to add. So just want you to know that that is in the works. And I'm super proud of our just being a part of a team that is able to put together such a great thing. So that is awesome. At your shows, I really hope that you are really starting to emphasize the holiday shopping. So if you're thinking, I was just going to get a half price item for myself, don't leave 3 half price items unused, ladies. You know that there's going to be somebody that shows up, to your house, and they're like, I know we said we weren't going to exchange, but I got you this anyway. And then you're standing there sweating because you said you weren't going to exchange. What are you going to give? You're going to bring out this half-price Lovey bracelet that you threw on this party today, and she's going to love that bracelet. So throw some Lovey bracelets on. For $18, you're getting a bunch of beautiful gifts. For those of you that still need to get a gift for the religious ed teacher, for the classroom teachers, the assistants, the bus drivers, the office grab bag, you'd be crazy not to take half-price items today to fulfill all of those gifts. Keep them on hand. They're coming in a pouch that's ready to go, and you can just grab and go those gifts anytime you need. So be sure to take advantage of all of your half-price items. At the checkout, remind them again, because a lot of times it's clear that they want to make these items the half. It's clear they want to make their Skylar necklace the 25. So I'll do it the way they want and then say, you're actually entitled to 2 more half price items. Do you want to grab any gifts while you're here today? Any birthdays, any showers, any holiday gifts coming up you want to just take care of? Then they'll usually add it on. They kind of like to know that what they want is taken care of before they start adding on gifts. So sometimes they feel better to see the structure of what they want and then just throw in, you're entitled to 2 more. You're entitled to 1 more half price item. Do you want to throw one of these on, or do you want to grab a gift? I'd hate to see pay full price for something in Kohl's. So this is, people are shopping now. If you're not talking holiday shopping now, you're going to miss all the early birds, because there's all those people that the second week in November, they're like, oh, I'm done. It's like, oh, good for you. Because I didn't even start yet, Karen, but okay. So if you, definitely get in there and not push, but remind people that holidays are coming. 1 minute, I always look at the date at every show starting like now. I say 1 minute, it's October 23rd, you're enjoying your pumpkin spice, and then you blink, it's December 23rd, and you're standing in the mall sweating and wishing that you could punch everyone online in the face because the line is long, people are rude, it's 100 degrees in the mall, you're still going to have to gift wrap it, you're going to have to run around. Don't do that. Take care of it today. So whatever the date is, I do that whole little skit. It's 100 degrees in the mall. People know what you're talking about. You all know what I'm talking about. We've all been that person in the mall. 900 degrees, packed. What is Jen Ewert saying here? A great way, to always add on a stocking stuffer for a $10 pair of Dottie earrings. Be the gum at the cash register. Everyone grabs that last little thing. I love that. And a big way to make that happen is to keep a couple of those items at your checkout area. So have the Dottie earrings nearby. Have the new Morocco earrings and the Blair necklace and things like that. Because if they're at a half price items, they can add on a $15 Blair necklace, right? And that drives your trip points. That drives your rich rewards. And it gets more Park Lane jewelry on more bodies. Build in your business. So the other thing that I wanted to real quick address, that you can, a way to build your business. I was talking about this with the leaders on our leader call last week, but I feel like some of you probably have not had a review on this in some time, and that is our recommendation/direct to point program. Because sometimes I feel like fashion directors, branch directors, even sometimes the area leaders feel like, oh, that's a program for the leaders. It's not a program for leaders. It's a program for everyone in Park Lane. And what I'm referring to is that direct-to-point program where if you were to recommend somebody to Park Lane who has leadership experience, and we have somebody from the home office at Park Lane interview that person, and they come in at a level that is under you. So let's say you're a division and this person qualifies for area. Well, then that person is placed on your team as an area leader, and now you have an experienced leader on your team that you can work with. And that person just had their leadership experience rewarded, and they're happy to start at, in that case, 40%, right? Now, many of you that are fashion directors and branches are saying, well, nobody's going to fit under me. What would I get out of something like that? That is somebody that is lateral to you. So what that is, that means that you're the recommender. Now, when you are the recommender of somebody who comes in at the same or higher than you, there's a weekly amount of sales that is required. It's different for levels. So if you have a question on how much it is at your level, we can talk about that. But every week that you and or your team, depending on your level, sell that required amount, you earn 2% of everything that that person and their team sells. That's benefit number one. Benefit number two is that 50% of the sales generated by that person or team, the sales that you need for your next promotion, 50% of it can come from that person or team. So let's say you are a branch and you're trying to promote to area. You and your team need to sell $5,000 to reach that level, right? If you had a recommended person working lateral or above you, your team would only have to do 2,500 if that team sold 2,500. So you would get to area faster. You can get to division faster. Okay? Benefit number 3 is that when that person joins Park Lane and earns a trip, you get the trip. So if you would have earned 0 trips and you recommended a leader that earned a trip, you get a trip. And just like that, you're in Rome. You're in wherever the trip is. That's why I had 3 trips to Greece, because I earned a trip because I had a person that I recommended earn the trip. So I actually didn't take a 3rd person. None of my kids were able to go. So I was able to take the 2 trips for my husband and I. We cashed out the 3rd trip, and that was the money that we used for spending on the trip. So we were able to do a nice couple of excursions, and that trip was literally free because the money from the cash out was what we put into Greek money, and we came home with 0, and we were like, yay, that worked out beautiful. There was a couple of years back, I had somebody else, I earned Aruba for 5 because we were able to earn it for 4, and then I earned the extra 1 because of a recommended person. So one way to achieve this is to remember to be always digging for leads. One way to do that is to use these refer a friends, which are available on the supply form. This is just a way for you to be able to talk to your show guests about who do they know. Because everyone has an aunt that's big in Mary Kay, a cousin who sold Tupperware and was a big shot for a while and then she quit. Somebody who's been selling, maybe she's been selling 31 for a while and hasn't been thrilled with it anymore or whatever. Or maybe they seem 100% happy. I promise you, no one on earth would have thought I would have left my other company. Nobody. But yet I did. And lots of other people here did too. And there are several companies that are not doing well. Look up Leaders in Origami Owl. That's a company that is in bad shape. LuLaRoe, people are selling off their stuff in secret fire sales because they're not supposed to sell it at a discount, but they have to in order to get some of that money back. There are all kinds of other jewelry companies out there, some of which you haven't even heard of. So do some research using just good old-fashioned Google and Facebook. When you see somebody posting that they earned a trip with another company, that's somebody who would probably enjoy hearing about the Park Lane opportunity. Just listening to the information doesn't mean they're quitting. I've recommended people that interviewed and then didn't ultimately join. Not too many. Most people who interviewed joined because once you know about our programs, it's really hard to go back to your old terrible programs. But these are great to use at your parties. And just after you've done like whatever your recruiting talk is, if you use an album, if you do the Q&A, whatever, it's great to say, so ladies, in your clipboard or inside your catalog or whatever system you use, or I'm going to pass out a little form here where you could write down the name of somebody that you think would be great at Park Lane, whether it's somebody that you think just is fashionable, would like to earn extra money, somebody who loves jewelry, or maybe it's somebody that sells something else and you think that they might want to they would like to receive information about our leadership program, because we don't just hire entry level, we also hire leaders. So if there's somebody that you would like to write down on here, and you can certainly write yourself down, please do make sure that your name is on here too. And any of these people that ends up joining my team, I would be so happy to gift you with some free jewelry. What are you pointing at, Phyllis? Oh, you're petting your cat. Sorry. I thought you were trying to show me something. So they're full color. They're like cardstock. They're like floppy cardstock. So they are extra nice. I keep these on my guest clipboards. By the way, I do find these to be just a really nice way for the guests to have a pleasant shopping experience. As you can see, these are the same size as the wish list. So it's not like I'm carrying around a big giant clipboard like the gym teachers taking attendance or anything. It's just a nice little, I got these at Walmart for like $1 each. And then in it, I have the wish list facing the top. I have the refer a friend. I have the success looks gorgeous on you. And then at the bottom, I have the 5-star, the show rewards, because I do like for them to open that up like an accordion when I'm doing what the show benefits are. And I like them to have that big thing to pull out in front of them. So if you only keep the 5 stars in your hostess packets, you're kind of missing an opportunity. I would recommend you let each guest have that in their possession during the course of the show. And they're so cheap, they're worth getting a pack. So, any questions on the recommendation program or anything else that I just shared with you? You have a question, go ahead.
So this is kind of news to me. I knew about the recommendations, but I'm one of those people who believe that they need to be a leader. So I know a couple of girls in another jewelry company that are really slow right now. And are you saying that I can recommend them as opposed to my needing to try to recruit them?
If you feel that they would be better served by having someone from the home office contact them first, get a sense of their experience, because sometimes the experience is just that they have tremendous personal value. Somebody that we recently interviewed on behalf of someone on our team, they have tremendous personal volume, but have never recruited. And it's surely because they never were taught to recruit and that their programs don't benefit recruiting. Right. So they are going to be offered a lower leadership. They're not going to be brought in as senior divisions or anything, but they're not going to start at fashion director either. So that's where we can see if that applies to those girls. Do they have at least a couple of recruits? Just somebody, so let's get a sense of what they have. And then usually step 2 is Lori gets back to me and says, okay, I called this one, I called that one, I called this one. This one, definitely a no, but I'll call her back anyway. This one, I'll call her back in 6 months. This one is ready to talk to you now. Go ahead with a Zoom. This one has so much experience. I'm going to see if Scott will interview them. That's kind of how it goes. So if you would like to start taking advantage of trying to use this program, I just ask that you email me, okay? That's really the only way that I can take recommendations, because if it starts coming in also on text and Facebook Messenger, those get lost. So email it to me. You guys all have my email address. You've all gotten an email from me at some point, michellezito14@yahoo.com. Put leads from your name in the subject, and then best case scenario is that you provide as much information as you have. Minimally, we need a name, a phone number, and the company that they're with. Any other information that you can provide is, of course, excellent. She was at my show last week. She was super fashionable, great personality, says that she sells blah, 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 or it might be, researched her, found that she was the #1, blah, blah, blah. Anything that you can share is always helpful. If you know them personally or not, if you do know them personally, always put that in your little summary. And then we work for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is totally unrelated to the recruiting thing, and I really like the emails that I've been getting from you that are so personalized and on that background stationery. Is that something you made personally, or is that available to us?
I started using Constant Contact as an email service. So I decided that why would I only use it for my customers when I could also use it to email you guys? So you can make different groups. So I have every level of the team in a different email folder. That way, if I in a different email group on Constant Contact, that way if I want to email just the divisions and above, then I click off division, senior division, sales VPs, and I send it. If I want to send it to everyone on the team, I click off every box. And then I have my customers in a folder. And you make one like template, and then you just change up the center. That's why it always has the same nice top and bottom.
Very professional.
Well, thank you. Mm-hmm. That was shared by Teresa Morgan a couple weeks back, the Constant Contact. So I'm working on that now. In fact, the personal appointments that I have today were generated from those emails. The girl said, I love the statement necklaces that you've been putting in your emails. I know that you know I love statement necklaces. I said, well, why don't you come by? Lunch and statement necklaces. It's the girl who sold me our house. So I knew she's been wanting to get back to the house. That's why I made it a nice offer. So then I invited the past hostess that I met her through. And then actually the real estate agent isn't coming anymore, but that girl's still coming. So that's my appointment today at 2:00. Any other thoughts or questions?
Michelle, I wanted to bring up one thing. You did something about, it's probably been at least a week ago, and it was that guessing game for the jewelry. Like it was in a jar and one was in a glass. And I'm going to tell you, I actually think that's probably one of the easiest things you can do if you have a VIP or a group of customers and hostesses to use. And my thought is it's so simple. You post it and tell people, I would use your exact verbiage, and tell people to guess how many are in there, and whoever guesses the closest will be treated to a sipping style, a happy hour. And what's important is saying the first round of appetizers are on me.
Right.
You're not promising jewelry. You're not doing any of that. But they want to play this game. Like another one. Oh, I can guess. And I'm on today's day 4. And I like the fact that you told me to make sure that I recognize the person every day. I've already gotten, this is day 4, but I've already gotten 2 bookings already with dates for November.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I keep doing this. I can get 7 bookings.
That's right. That's why my Money Monday this week was so extra good, because not only did I get the bookings from my show, but last week I was doing all kinds of customer follow-up. You saw me posting about it. And I was doing those guessing games in my VIP group. They love to hear that catered sip and shop or happy hour. So that way, if they pick a restaurant, first round is on me. If they have it at their house, I'm bringing those wine box bling bars. And I brought I didn't know what the heck I was going to bring, actually. I had my first one this past Friday. And I was like, what am I bringing for the catered part, But I picked up a cheese platter. And then the Italian specialty shop near my house sells these huge raw Sicilian pizzas with all different specialty toppings and stuff. So I got the one with the breaded chicken on it. So it was like a chicken Parmesan giant party Sicilian pizza. I told her put her oven on. As soon as I got there, I slid it in the oven. We sliced it up. The girls were like, where is this from? It's delicious. And it just worked out so great. All of it, cost me far less than the money I made at the party. And then I played the dice game and booked all those people. So even if it cost me every cent of my commission, it would have been worth it, because I just am delaying the money I'm making. So I spent the money on this girl to meet all those other people. Totally worth it. I'm so glad that you tried that, Joy. You know what I'll do? I will post all the pictures that I used and that Joy is using in the Shine On page with the amount of how many is in it. And just as a little aside, no, it's not like, the Miss America people are validating how many pieces are really in the jar. So if somebody guesses the right number and they live far away, then guess what? It's not that number. Pick the next number down or up, because you can't do a catered sip and shop for somebody in Detroit, right? If you live in Maryland. So if you have to fudge it by a number or so, go right ahead. If you want to award it to the person who guessed right and the person who guessed right above and right below, It's just a fun contest. Do what you want. The purpose is to get people engaged in your group and to get you in front of more people. So it's okay. No one's going to hell for fudging a piece of jewelry, one number, so that you can give a prize. Honestly, if somebody that I really wanted to book, a brand new person or something, guessed something pretty close, that would be the winning number. I don't care.
You know what I did, Michelle? Today I realized I only had one person that posted in there. So I did something Joy told me to do, and I tagged about 10 people. They all started voting. I was like, oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, so they just didn't see it.
So it was able. Right. So my thought is I'm helping you to see it as well.
Yeah, and you know what, Joy? Remember we had talked, Joy and I had spoken about how she said that she wasn't really getting a lot of action in her VIP group, and I said that that's the Facebook algorithm where if people don't comment in a group in a while, they stop showing you the posts of that group. So that's where a game like this is fantastic, because all of a sudden it fixes your algorithm that all these people, once they comment once, all of a sudden everything you post is showing up in their newsfeed again. So I did in the middle of the week make one of the prizes be that they would just receive a piece of jewelry. I didn't do the same. I didn't do the sip and shop for every day because I wanted people that knew that or kind of figured, I'm not guessing because I don't want to win the sip and shop. I still wanted them to participate and get them back in my algorithm. So one of the days I did do that they will win jewelry. And I just remembered I didn't send it. So I need to write that down.
I have a question, since you mentioned that with the algorithm, because I did the ghost tag, the little ghost thing yesterday. I posted it, and I got 2 people saw it. 1 person commented. That's highly unusual for me with my contest. And how do you get them? I mean, I put this on here, so I'm just wondering if they are just not seeing it.
That's probably likely. That's what, maybe try what Joy did and tag some people.
Okay, go ahead and tag them right in here and see if that happens, because I got 1 comment the minute I put it up. But she's the person who always comments on everything anyway.
Right, so makes sense.
Here it is 24 hours later, and I don't have any comments, so I know something's happening. So I'm going to do what you did, Joy, and tag people who normally play all my games. So, yeah.
Yep. Because then you'll know they see it. If they choose not to play at that point, then you know they don't want to play.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, and that game does work. I did it with the first one that you had, and I actually did the catered event for a young lady who has a big organization, and I got bookings out of that too, but her bookings are not until December because they have a couple of seminars coming up and what have you. She has a nonprofit. She wants to do a fundraiser. So it was worth it for me to do it.
Absolutely. And this is the time of year to book any date they want. So if somebody can't do November and wants December can be hard to book. So take that December booking. Anybody who doesn't want before the holidays, pencil them in immediately for what you're going to say is next year. Oh, if you're too busy, let's just pencil something in for next year. Because remember, January hostesses, I'm reminding all of you guys, January hostesses typically get $250 in Fast 50s. And it's usually for $25. So typically it's like that first 2 weeks, but there's usually something like if you put in $500 the last week of December, then you get to do it the whole month. There's always some kind of something that they get the extra $250. So I just tell, if you take January, you're getting an extra $250, and I'll figure it out later, because if I have dates on the calendar, you have to have your January booked by mid-December, because it's hard to book it after that because people get very consumed with Christmas. So if people don't want now, you start using that language of, well, you want to just pencil something in for next year? January is a fabulous time to have a show. Everyone's bored. No one's got anything to do. And I promise you they're coming. And I truly believe that, because my first time I was a hostess of anything, I had it on the 3rd Friday in December, and almost 40 people showed up to my house. I had people adding guests the day of the party. It was crazy. So I am a full believer in that. January is great. All right. So Thank you, everybody, for joining on. I hope that this was helpful. I look forward to your emails with some recommendations that we can start working on for you and help you build your business throughout this holiday season. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Bye.